So I'll start off with Marki, even though Ingrid's going to be taking the show on the road. Marki is a personal friend. I'm happy to have her here. She's also a part of the PA Noon Rotary. And I think I first met her through that. Marki Lockhart began her work with the Olympic Area Agency on Aging, in short, O3A, and I went and had to look that up, in 2022, and has contributed the last 12 years working in the human services field. As O3A's community programs manager, she oversees information and assistance. Sheba, and I forget what that is. I know it's about assisting for your taxes, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
No, not taxes.
Not
Medicare.
Medicare. Thank you for that clarification. And other direct service programs. Marki has also been involved with the Noon Rotary Club since 2017, as I mentioned. She is joined, and I heard that she's not only your boss, but also a personal friend. No,
she likes to. No, we work together.
Ingrid Handon has been at the Olympic Area Agency on Aging since 2014 and has over 20 years experience in the Aging Network, with 18 years managing and monitoring a variety of contracts, including home care. Ingrid is a certified trauma-informed care trainer and is currently training O3A staff. Please welcome Ingrid and Marki as they share some of the programs they're working within our community.
Thank you for having us here. To clarify, Ingrid is my work best buddy. She has helped me navigate my new role with the agency over the last year, and I appreciate her wealth of knowledge. But here this morning, we're going to talk a little bit about O3A. We're just going to gloss over some of our programs, and then we're going to get into our Homeshare program, which is really the meat of this presentation. So one of the big questions is, who is O3A? A lot of folks have never heard of us. We've been on the peninsula for 40 years.
Area agencies on aging were established in like 1970 based off of the Older Americans Act of 1963. 20 years.
Okay, thank you. So some of the programs that we work with, we have some direct service programs, and then we also have some contracts that we manage with other agencies, all kinds of good stuff. One of our bigger ones is our information and assistance program. So if you have questions on long-term care, you can call our office. We have some highly trained specialists who can help navigate all of the different systems. We have our Medicaid case management. We have our family and kinship caregiver support programs. We have a health homes program. We have our statewide health insurance benefit advisors program. That is the SHEBA that we were talking earlier to help folks navigate through the Medicare system. And open enrollment's coming up, so our volunteers will be very busy. If anyone is interested in volunteering for that program, let me know. We have our long-term care ombudsman program where folks go into assisted living facilities and advocate for those residents. That is also a volunteer-based program. If you have any interest in that, please let me know. We have evidence-based health promotion programs. One of those popular ones is bingo size, where folks can do bingo from their chairs and have a great time. We'd love to get that one up at the PA Senior Center. We also have nutrition programs. We contract with other agencies such as OLICAP to provide congregate meals and home delivered meals. We have our senior legal advice clinics. Those are clinics that are free to our 60 and above, and we do those on a regular basis in both Swim and Port Angeles. We also have volunteer transportation programs. We have tribal social isolation programs, and we also have rural health equity programs. So we're doing quite a bit of things. We're all over the place. We do cover 4 counties. We cover Clallam, Jefferson, Grace Harbor, and Pacific counties. So a lot of work is being done. But Homeshare is one of our newer programs that we're here to talk about. And Ingrid has been working with this program. I just get to kind of talk about it and help Ingrid along. But anyway, I'll let Ingrid take that one on. Thank you, Marky.
And Marki does a lot more than just help me along with this. We have been in this together. So home sharing is a new program that O3A started to help alleviate the housing crisis that's in our region, right? Because there's no homes to buy, there's no homes for people to move into. Companies can't get people to be hired because there's nowhere for them to move to when they get here to get the job. So there's that issue. Plus, there's also the issue of older adults who are living in a home that maybe they have had for years, that they raised their children in, that has several bedrooms that are not being used. So if they can rent out one of those rooms, that provides them with extra income. It can help to reduce loneliness and social isolation. It can also help provide some financial assistance or functional assistance. So let's say, as we all know, property taxes keep going up, so that bill gets larger and larger. But if you are a senior on a fixed income, your income's not growing at the same rate. So you can have a little bit of financial assistance to help with that, or you may need some functional assistance. That may include caregiving, that may not. That may just be the person who's renting is not going to pay as much, but they're going to take out the garbage and they're going to mow the lawn and they're going to make sure that all of those heavy duty tasks are done. Or it could be that they're going to help drive the person to appointments. They may provide some light caregiving. That would all be determined by the renter and the rentee. And then, like I said, it also helps to provide a lot more housing options. Change my slide. Right. Oh. Did I? Oh, I missed it. I missed one. I am so sorry. I'm talking on the next slide. Let me make sure I didn't cover anything on this. So yeah. So then this would be why you choose home sharing for seniors. So what O3A is doing is we have partnered with Silvernest, which is an online home sharing platform. And if you live in one of our 4 counties, Clallam, Jefferson, Grays Harbor, or Pacific, and you are a senior age 60 and older, then we will cover your fees, whether you want to open your home as a host to share a room in your home, or whether you want to find somewhere to move into as a home seeker. So O3A covers those fees for those who want to do it, which is, I am a slide ahead. This is what happens when I start speaking before I've had my coffee for the day. So we're gonna bump on to the next one. So again, you have to be 60 or older. You have to live in one of our 4 counties. And then you have to go through our landing page, which is silvernest/o3a.org. It's on here later. And then, the other thing that you have to do, it's not necessarily to be eligible, but because Silvernest is an online platform, you have to have an email address and the ability to communicate online with the host or the home seeker, because that's the way Silvernest does it. There's no other option for that. They don't have in-person options. And then either have a space in your home for a home seeker to rent, or be able to meet the rental requirements of a host if you're looking to move in with someone else. So again, the O3A Homeshare website is info.silvernest.com/O3A. You would create an account, which will again requires an email address and a password. For a host, you would enter your home details, the rules, pricing, and pictures. For home seekers, you enter your housing and then your housemate and pricing preferences. You have a cap on pricing, like
So no, because that is all determined by the host and the home seeker. So as a host, you're going to enter your name, your photo, and your property address. The property address will not be put on the outward facing site. They'll just give you, like if you've ever shopped on Craigslist, you know how it says they're in this area and they have like a circle around all of Port Angeles. It would be something similar to that, so that they can get like a general location, but not where your actual house is. And then you will specify information about your home. So the type of home, is it a 1-story, a 2-story? And then who will be sharing the home with the renter? Is it just you? Is it you and your spouse, you and your child? Any amenities, safety features, house rules, COVID-related expectations, when it's available, and then the preferred length. Is this going to be a short-term 6 months, a longer-term arrangement?
how big the room is, and any details about a bathroom arrangement. Do they have their own? Will they be sharing? Information on furnishings, and then your basic listing details. So pricing, security deposit. You'll upload photographs, a short bio of you for any future housemates so they know who they're moving in with, and then personal information. And all of this, Silvernest's process just walks you through. So you do the thing, and then you click next, and then you enter in the next information, and then you click next. And fair housing rule prevents Silvernest from allowing listings where no one is sharing the home with a renter. So you cannot utilize Silvernest to just rent out your home. You have to be living there. And then for room size, you just select like a small, medium, or large, and they have an estimate of square foot sizes. They do provide recommendations on pricing based on the geographic area information that was provided about the space, but users can enter any amount that they choose. So you can make it whatever you want to do. And then Silvernest provides information on what areas of the house to include, like for photos, and along with tips on taking really good quality photos. So there it is. So for we just did that. So for the home seeker, you're going to enter your name, your photo, and again, a short bio for any future housemates, your personal information, and then what your search preferences are. So like your search radius, do you want all of Clallam County, just Port Angeles? When you're looking for, and about how long you're looking for to rent, how open you are to providing help around the house in return for reduced rent, and a rental budget, right? So you have $1,000 a month to spend, and they utilize that to calculate their what Silvernest calls the share score, which is the number that their match number, right? That they use based on their algorithm. Now you are able to provide some information on who you would prefer for your housemate. So personal information, including gender, sexual orientation, birth date, whether there's a smoker in the house, pets, work schedules, and income. So any of those items that have the asterisk, the gender, sexual orientation, the birth date, and income, those are not shared on the profile, but you do provide that information to Silvernest. So again, they can utilize that in your share score. And then both hosts and home seekers can define their housemate preferences, including age, gender, and sexual orientation. And this is where Silvernest as a home share program differs from your normal landlord-renter tenant program or tenant relationship. Because the two home sharing parties live together, then home sharers can indicate preferences in their housemate search that fair housing rules don't allow in a normal landlord-tenant relationship. Right? So if you are a woman living alone, you can specify you will only live with another woman. You do not want a man to rent a home with you. And you can do that, and that's okay. So once you are signed up on the Silvernest site, you can pull up your dashboard. You can browse as a host. You can browse all of the home seekers that are in your area, and it'll show a photo with their first name, a little description about them, and then it'll give you your little share score for how, obviously, the higher the score, the more compatible Silvernest thinks you will be. And home seekers can also do the same. It does display some basic information about the home. You can sort and filter your listings through several different variables. If you click on a profile, it's going to show you their basic preferences, their ideal housemate info, rental terms, and when that person was last active on the Silvernest website. So if you as a host go on and you're like, ooh, this home seeker looks really fun, and you're like, they haven't been active for a year, they probably either found somewhere or no longer. It also will display badges indicating whether that person has done a verified identity check or completed the background check, both of which are included in the fee that O3A pays. And users will be able to message the host or the home seeker from your profile. And you can do that anonymously so that you're not sharing your information. It's like Facebook Messenger, you're messaging through the Silvernest site. And so you don't have to share any of your personal information, contact information, your email, your phone number, until you are ready and comfortable with that person to do so. So again, messaging can be completed through Silvernest. And then hosts and home seekers will receive an email notification when someone sends you a new message, right? Just like you get that little ding and you get a Facebook message. Users can block someone from messaging them. Let's say you decided this person is just not for you. You are not compatible, but they keep messaging you about it. You can block them so that you will stop getting those messages. And you can share your background summary. So as a host, you can ask the person if they've had a background check, or as a home seeker, and they have a summary that they can then share. So Silvernest will not share that on your behalf. That is up to you. You can have you'll get the little badge that shows you've done it, but it is up to the host or the home seeker to share that on their own. So there is always a lot of concerns about the risk that happens with opening up your home to someone. Silvernest does recommend that home seekers get renter's insurance. Silvernest uses Checker to handle the background check. So all of that information does not go through Silvernest. It is done completely through the background check company Checker. And Silvernest only shows the first letter of the last name. The full addresses are not displayed on the public facing listings. And users can verify their identity through Cognito if they choose. And then once verified, again, you'll get a badge on your profile. Silvernest doesn't handle or store or use any of the information that is collected by Checker or Cognito to do those checks. And Silvernest does provide a Nest Easy home sharing agreement. And that's a template that helps users think through questions that they may not have thought to ask for their new housemate. If you have not shared a house with somebody in 20, 30 years, you may not remember all of the things that came up when you were in college and your roommates kept, stealing your food or leaving the door open or whatever. Everybody has personal preferences. And so the Nest Easy home sharing agreement helps to, it really provides a great template to help you figure those out and what you want to make sure that the other person is aware of. And then Silvernest also provides information on using their site safely. So they have a lot of tips and information on vetting and screening housemates, avoiding scams, and safety tips for choosing a home if you're a home seeker, as well as living with your new housemate. They also provide information. I have that on the wrong part. I'm gonna have to take that off. But they also have information on living harmoniously with your new housemate, right? If you haven't shared a room with somebody or a house with somebody in a long time, or even if you have, but that person was really used to all of you, because we all have our own little quirks and things, then it can be a little difficult. And so Silvernest has resources for how to share your home, splitting the bills, your insurance, the costs of the house, creating a house rules, preparing for move-in day, communicating effectively, preventing and resolving conflict. And Silvernest also offers mediation with trained conflict resolution professionals. And that is all included in the fee that O3A. That's all stuff that Silvernest does. So if you want to sign up, you would visit the O3A Homeshare website at info.silvernest.com/O3A. You create your account, which requires an email address and a password, and then you would find your new housemate or your new home. Brian in the back.
Do you have any stories, success stories from like the area that you can share, like bring a worker in to the area or that's participated in?
So we, as at O3A, we do not have any success stories. We just launched this program in February. However, if you go to the Silvernest website, they have several little videos on success stories that have happened for them around the country in different areas. We are waiting for that one, person to move in and they have become the best of friends and to be our poster child for this program. But no, we don't have any success stories yet.
After hearing that, I'm not sure this is a relevant question, but I'll ask it anyway. How many participants have you had in the program on either side so far?
So we have, honestly, I think we've had like 8 or 9 people sign up the last time that I checked. It's not a lot. Part of it is we're trying to get the word out there. And that's a bit of a slow process. Because as you saw by all of the other things that we do at O3A, Marki, this is just one thing that Marki and I do. If we could just travel all 4 counties and do this presentation all day long, that'd be great. Mostly, but we, right? But we have a lot of other stuff that we're doing. And so we don't get to do these presentations that often. And because we live in Port Angeles, we've really focused on starting them in Clallam County. Our goal is that we'll be able to do them in other places, to get some press releases and other advertising out. So we are welcome and happy to come to any group, sewing circle, quilting bee, your neighborhood barbecue, especially. We will come and talk to anybody about this program because we really want to get the word out. So,
And we're also starting to try to build those who have homes and space available. We don't feel that there will be a struggle to find folks to fill those vacant homes or those vacant rooms. It's more of getting the rooms. So once we've got some more folks signed up that have those available, once we start talking to the Serenity House or Housing Authority or any of our other community partners, that's not the problem. That's not a barrier at all. It's finding folks who are willing to rent out their space.
Do you have a sense, which may not be possible since you're like not that far into this program, but I was wondering if you had a sense of the level of need in our community for seniors that need this sort of housing?
So, and that's the cool thing is that when you sign up for our program, yes, you have to be a senior for O3A to pay your fee. However, Silvernest is a nationwide company and they provide it to everybody. All you have to be is 18, as long as you're an adult for Silvernest, right? So you can, as a senior, you can sign up through O3A and we will pay for your membership as a host. But you may get somebody from Colorado who's moving in, who's in their 20s, who's going to work at ONC or who's going to work at the mill or going to do whatever. You're not necessarily going to have a senior move in with you because you will have access to the entire Silvernest site. So that way, the hope is that we're going to cover the cost of the seniors, right? Because our funding for this comes from the Older Americans Act, which it's in the name, Older Americans Act. So you have to be 60 or older to access those funds. So that's why we can't cover the cost for like everybody in the region. But what we're hoping is that by covering the costs for seniors, and we know that there are some seniors who are looking for housing who would like to not live on their own. But there's also a lot of older adults out there who have a home with space available, who could use somebody to mow the lawn and fix the sink when it's leaking and unplug the toilet, to do all of those, right? Take out the garbage. All of those things that, just on the daily may become really difficult to do. And they may not have someone who can come in and do it, right? It's one thing if you can get your neighbor or your kids to come out for the weekend to help repair your roof or do a big project. But it's harder, I think, to ask someone every week, can you come over and take out my garbage? Right? And that can get to be a lot more difficult. But if you have someone in the home who can help with that, then, they can either pay a reduced amount in rent, they can do enough to where they're not paying rent, and it may be so that it's beneficial for both parties. And that's where that Nest Easy agreement would come in, so that the host and the home seeker would come to that agreement. So as a host, if you're looking for assistance around the home because you can't do the weeding, you can't do as much gardening, you can't keep up with the landscape and the property maintenance for your home, you would put that into your bio. I am looking for, I'm willing to offer reduced rent if you do blah, 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 blah. And just identify those options. But it's another question.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go right ahead. I could talk for hours, really. It's hard to shut me in.
This is something between a comment and a question. I know that I don't know if it's the largest stock of affordable housing for seniors, but one of the largest stocks of affordable housing for seniors is the Northland Peninsula Eastern manufactured home parks. And in many of the manufactured home parks, there are covenants that are established basically by owners of the parks that act like homeowners associations, which prevent the owners of the homes from subletting or having tenants. And I don't know the exact percentage that are widows or widowers, but it's quite high. And because you own chattel property, which is sitting, you bought something with your partner passes away. It's onerous to move the properties. You're kind of sitting and you have more space than you need in a sublet. I wonder if there isn't a way for the Silver Nest agreement, I'm creating the name, to be a backdoor, which may allow some of the manufactured homeowners to fill in some space in those homes. And so really just turning out to like be 90% comment, only 10%.
It's okay.
Have you guys checked this out or talked to folks at AMPO or the other manufacturing homeowner?
We haven't, we at O3A have really, like, honestly, that's not something that I was even aware of. But we are really trying to step back. O3A is paying the fee. We're trying to get the word out there to get this program going. We always recommend, if people have questions like that, talk to an attorney. And I will say the difference, I think, is that this is not a landlord-tenant relationship. You are getting a housemate. So would they prevent your cousin from moving in? Like, again, these would be questions for an attorney. So that's what we would recommend, is that you would talk to them. But that's certainly a conversation that we can start to have.
What would be the minimum that a person, if they were gonna offer some part of their home? What's the minimum that they could offer to a housemate? And then what's the maximum? I mean, as far, not price, but
Right.
as what portion of the house, of the home?
Well, the maximum would be the access to the entire home.
Yeah,
For the minimum, I think, I don't know that Silver Nest really lists a minimum, but the expectation is that they would have at least their very own bedroom. They would have access to a bathroom, and then shared spaces throughout the house. So you can either just say, you can put your stuff in the pantry. You can say, I have cleared all of my stuff off of these 3 shelves in the pantry. Those are for you. That would be all determined as part of that conversation between the host and the home seeker.
and if I could follow up with that, I think maybe for building code kind of requirements and so on, does there need to be separate entrance or fire access or fire exit kind of things
So
as part of it?
there does not need to be a separate entrance to the home, because again, they're sharing the home with you, so they would use the same entrance you do. As for safety, fire exits, all of that kind of thing, Silver Nest has tips and information on their website for home seekers to look for.
I know you talked about some of the fraud, like how to got a scams. I think one of my biggest fears is the percentage of the target audience that are home owners also have access to monetary increments at a higher level, and a percentage of them are vulnerable adults. And how APS is so taxed in our county already, for any coaching or oversight that is being provided as well.
There's no oversight. There's not really any coaching other than the information that is provided on the Silver Nest website. Our hope would be that the people who are doing this, I mean, anything that you do, is going to involve some risk, and that they would, talk to an attorney to find out what level of risk they're able to.
I just thought it was question made me because I thought this program was partnering seniors with seekers. So that was, I learned that today, so that's incredible. And then to answer like kind of the question from, you know, how many, what's the need? So on average at the senior center, we get like 2 to 3 calls a week asking like, do you know where I can rent a room? Do you know? And so we have a bulletin board, but I mean, that's just, I mean, that's great, but this just seems so much more legit and, you know, fine tuned. And so I'm really excited to be able to offer this.
Would you like us?
I would love, yes.
Right?
So just like that intergenerational connection is so important. I mean, it's like everyone benefits from it, so.
And I do have information on what is in, here we go. So the background check that is completed, right? So that's included in the fee that O3, Silvernest has a couple different tiers. And so O3A pays for the tier that includes all of the background checks and that information. So the background check includes a national and county criminal search, eviction history, and a civil search, a global watch list search, sex offender registry search, and social security number verification. So that's included in the background check, which as a host, you are more than welcome to ask your home seeker, did you get that background check? Can you share with me the summary? And the summary will say like, yeah, they're good, or they had a couple things. That the summary isn't going to tell you what those things are. It's going to tell you that they had some things. So it's not like a rap sheet where it's going to say that they had this conviction and this arrest. But it is going to give you, it would let you know whether or not their background check was clear or not. And then you could decide at that point whether you want to move forward or do you want to talk to this person to see, hey, what was it? Are you gonna, you know, that information.
Kathy had a question.
Kathy, and then you.
Mike, a quick question. Have you talked with OMC? Because as a retired OMC person and somebody has a place, I have inquiries at least every 3 months for our department. So I know they don't want to go into the rental business,
Right,
but if you talk with them, I think they're.
they are on our list.
I have a follow-on question. Have you, talked with, job security to let them know that this is a possibility of housing for people who would be employed here?
So we haven't, because again, we have 8 or 9 people signed up and those are not all hosts. So I don't want to go to job security and have 20 different home seekers looking for somewhere and we have nowhere for them to go.
So right now our focus is on finding hosts.
Right? Because again, it's if you have the space, they will come and you have questions.
I do, I'm just curious if we've all seen probably in the news in the last few months that the city of Port Angeles is looking to either manage or severely limit short-term rentals, Airbnb, VRBO, you know, throughout the city, and this is very different from that. But have you either taken a seat at the table in the preparation of these rules or submitted an amicus brief or anything to make sure that you are specifically exempted from whatever rules they make?
We haven't, we did have a conversation. I did a presentation with the homelessness task force a couple of months ago. And yeah, this does not fall under any of those short-term rental pieces, so.
Any other questions? We're also happy to answer any questions about the other O3A programs.
And there is a handout with a little more information about those programs, and you can always reach out to either myself or Ingrid if you have specific questions on any of these programs.
And that information's all up.
Oh, yes. There's a couple of handouts for the Silvernest, and then there's this one about our different programs through O3A. And hopefully I brought my cards and I'll leave them up there if people have questions.
I did have.
Good job.
Good job.
Okay. All right.